Looks like we're good. And this is a silver 1. Alright, hope you guys are having a good weekend. We're going to get started with some coaching. I'm going to knock out some of the backed up coaching that I have. I have like 7 or 8 replays. And we're going to get right into coach mode. So, YouTube, what up? It's NEACE. Hope all is well. It's coach time. GP mid versus Azir. Thank you, Sedge. Sedge 94. Wait, is that Sedgy? Sedgy 94. Thanks for the 6 months. You've been subbed for 6 months. I don't think I've ever said your name. That's so weird how that works sometimes, where like people just kind of pop up that have been subbed forever, and I don't think I remember saying their names. Sub hype train for that guy. Should be queuing this Azir. I don't know what's going on here. All right. As you know, I consider myself the leader of the GPs. So I'm gonna be nitpicking your mechanics pretty hard because I know him very, very well. First things first, whenever he, like, let me pull up Epic Pen. Here we go. All right. Remember with GP, your goal is anytime that you can queue, you will queue. Essentially, okay? So here he puts his W down in this spot, and you move to here. You should be moving up and trying to queue him. Mid lane is, well, not even mid lane. Anytime you play GP, it's a race. If you can bully, you should bully. If you can't bully, then you can't bully, whatever. In a lot of cases, if the Azir is competent when he turns level 2, he's going to poke back at you. If he plays like a bitch, though, you really want to punish him. Low elo, bronze, silver, gold. I pretty much tell all students to play like they own the lane until proven otherwise. So here, notice how much time we spend. We walk down, back up, and then down again before you actually finally queue him. These lane phases are a timed thing. It's a timed window where we can bully. This guy's not even backing away from the queue. Like, it'd be one thing if the Azir was standing back here, chilling. But he's like right up on the minions, just asking to get queued in the mouth. Queue him, back up, step forward, farm. Queue him, back up, step forward, farm. And then when you hit level 2, you can potentially set up a barrel right away. And then, bam, you control the lane. You have the Azir begging for ganks and all that stuff, which you can very easily maneuver around. Because GP's pretty decent in terms of playing against Lee. Because he's relatively easy to avoid. The other thing is, oops, wrong vision. The other thing is 99% of the time, based on the bot lane showing up right now, and not even the vision of him that we had, we know where Lee's starting, so we know he's going to go this way. So essentially you can poke at this Azir and then position towards the bottom of the lane and just hyper aggro him, and then that way if Lee comes, he can only come from these angles, and it's very easy to navigate. Alright? Too fucking easy. So, now you start whacking on this guy finally. You should be hitting the minions yourself, trying to match his push. You don't want to give him level 2 for free, which is what you're doing. So let's back up. There, you Q, you de-aggro. You didn't step all the way off. Basically, you need to make sure you step all the way off of minions, so you drop the 3 minions here, the range creeps that are aggroing you, and then you step right back in and auto minions. He's pushing, watch. Auto, 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 auto. See how he's pushing the whole time? You should be meleeing creeps and trying to keep up with the push. See how he gets level 2 at the same time as you? Now you fucked up. Because in low elo you can always push for level 2 and then try to bully someone with an early barrel combo. You can just try to aggress and get a nice quick HP lead, because these players are just like you, dude. You're both not thinking about who needs to hit level 2 first. If this Azir wanted, he would have been hamming on the lane right away and pushing for level 2. GP doesn't actually play that great into Azir in lane unless the guy knows what he's doing. This guy doesn't really know what he's doing. The hell? I have a follow notification now? Hold on a second. I gotta turn that shit off. That's gonna get annoying real fucking quick. That is bizarre. I don't think I've ever had a follow notification on this stream. Sorry, hold on. One moment, peoples. I'm gonna rage. Pause replay review for a second. This is my pause. I am going to rage. This is how, dude, this is legit how people lose clients. Stream Alert's legit, like, losing me as a client right now. Why did they do this? I can't navigate my shit. There we go. Follow alerts disabled. So why is follow alerts happening? Searing Darkness, thanks for the sub. What the fuck is this? Someone follow me. It's actually... Thanks, Mona Skills, for the 6 months in a row. Dude, am I losing my fucking mind? Wow. That was... Okay. Well, at least the follow sounds are off, I think. I don't fucking know what's going on with this shit. I'm tilted. Anyways. So, this guy doesn't push to level 2 right away. He just kind of lets you exist. We got poked down really hard because we didn't push for level 2 right away. And we also, when we aggroed minions, we didn't step all the way off the minion line. Now, free range. Thanks for the sub, buddy. Check it out. I want you to look at the situation and think about it for a second here. We're sitting under our tower. It's 3.5 minutes. We're sitting under our tower, and we have Lee in our lane. Obviously, our jungle, even if our jungle shows up, we can't fight. Why did this happen? And why am I hammering on it so hard? You cannot ever get this low in lane as GP unless the other guy is super fucking low as well, which he's not. I want you to go back in time and let's just watch all of the HP that we lose and how we lose it, okay? So you can see how all these little mistakes add up. So here we're not queuing him, right? We wait for like 10 seconds before we even queue him the first time. Here you could queue again, you finally do. Notice how you're still drawing aggro from the creeps. You take about 10 autos from minions more than you needed to take because you didn't step all the way off the line. That's how much HP you pretty much just lost all that HP because you didn't step all the way off the minions after queuing him. Next, we don't push for level 2. We don't rush for level 2. When we turn level 2, we set our barrels up. We're chilling. There, you step forward while the wave is pushing to you. Notice that he has more minions than you. The wave's coming forward. Why are you standing here? What good does this do? Why do you even need to be here? There's nothing for you to even do here. And then you take all that damage for free. No health pot comes. Don't know why. We're poked down pretty significantly here, so now we can't do anything. Now we know he's going to have his combo up, his WQ. You eat it again for free. Notice, there's no need for you to get that CS. You could just let that CS go. Let the wave push to you. Instead, you contest the CS. Now we're sitting under our tower. Finally, we use one biscuit. WQ's about to be up again. You decide that you're going to tank that, even though, again, the wave's pushing to us. You just look like you're confused, dude. Like, you don't understand that if you're not going to push and hard melee the minions and spam Q on this guy as soon as you get into lane, then there's no fucking way that you're going to be able to bully him after the fact. Like, you need to come into the lane confident from the get-go and push for level 2 and then go. You can't bully after the guy's established lane control is pushing to us. What good does that do? Every trade that I've seen has pretty much been either you tanked the minions for too long, didn't push for level 2, and then you're just, now once he has lane control, you're not staying back and just giving up farm for a bit because he's got range on you. So now you use biscuit number 2. Lee comes into lane. We can barely farm. This Lee's like jerking off in our lane. Don't know why. You're chasing this kill, but you're Gangplank, so you're like never getting that kill, and then you're dead probably. Yeah, this is all your fault. You are okay. You're chasing off of tower with no HP. GP is super ass. You only have a Doran's Ring, no Corrupting Pot. You haven't accumulated the HP lead significantly over Azir. Lane's pushing to you. You're chasing a Lee Sin around the map and hoping that it works, which it like almost always never will. I mean, you see it yourself. And then you get your poor Hecarim dipped on. And then you're zoned off a farm, and then you back with the lane pushing in. It's pretty sloppy lane phase, dude. Down half CS already. And just getting stomped. This is what happens, dude. This is what happens with GP. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, your lane phase is gonna be wiggity whack. And in my opinion, GP, I mean, you're in silver. GP is like fine in silver. You can dumpster silver with Gangplank very easily because the players don't know what the hell your champion does. Pre-6 GP roam. No level 2 push. Pre-6 GP roams. Not respecting lane control. Okay. Again, you just keep stepping into minions that you can never really get safely. Same thing. It goes back to what I was saying. Not respecting lane control. The lane's pushing to you. You're not even thinking about the dude's cooldowns. Let him just shove the lane under tower, and then just calmly farm. If a CS, like, let me back it up. I don't know if you play Azir or not. I did the 100 games to diamond with him. I don't know why you would ever want to barrel those minions. If you barrel those minions, good player will just let the lane push and then zone you off with WQ as Azir. If you try to push these out with your barrels. Instead, just calmly let the farm happen. Like this, you would let him push. See how what are you doing? What does this even accomplish? Let's say you barrel these minions. Why would you want to barrel these minions and keep the wave here? Think about what you're doing before you do it. If you hit these minions, you are effectively slowing Azir's push down while simultaneously opening yourself up to harass. You know where you could stand right now? Here. This is where you could stand safely. Whatever. And just strafe back and forth. Let the lane come to you and get the wave under tower first, and then decide how you're going to juggle the farm. But there's no point in contesting this. He's a level ahead of you. The wave's already pushing to you. You're super low on HP. Why do you don't have, I know GP, you don't have wave clear here. You only have a Doran's Ring, Corrupting Paw, and a blue crystal. There's no way you're clearing this. And it's like, okay, you land poke. Cool, I guess. You step right into that wave. You're never getting any of that farm. That farm's dead. Look at it again and tell me that the farm's not dead. And again, I want you to watch how you barrel those creeps in the back line. So now you've made it. So you landed poke. But you're never killing this guy. So landing poke is pointless. And then you land poke and then all these minions are low. So now we can't farm these ever, right? Now watch. So notice how there's no planning here. What minion can we get, people? I'll tell you what minion we can get. We can Q. Once this gets into tower range, we're going to wait, maximize space. Once this gets into tower range, we can Q this minion. Can we get any other minions safely? No. What can we get from these minions? XP. That's all we can get from these minions. These minions, at this point, the 3 range creeps, these are XP only. Based on what we just did. Which is why you don't just randomly throw your barrels out without a purpose. Like, think about what you're going to do to the wave before you do it. If you don't have a plan, other than just throwing the barrels, then don't do it. If it doesn't have a purpose in your mind, don't just do it willy-nilly. Remember, when it comes to League of Legends, like, some people are like, well, it's a game, right? It's a game, we play for fun, and it's like, yes, I agree. But if you're playing ranked, every action needs to serve a purpose. If you're just going to throw your fucking skills out there and let it hit the minions and hope the shit works, then you're going to be very disappointed in the consistency of your gameplay. You have to be thinking. No autopilot. Barreling this guy, we put him down a little bit of HP. Are you all-inning him for any reason? No, you can't. Is Hecarim lining up for a gank? No, he's not. And do we know he's ganking mid? Probably not. So there's no point in really trying to trade HP with the guy who's crushing us right now. Just farm up and wait. Here, watch. The only minion that we can get is to Q this melee creep. Watch what you do. You Q the melee creep. The tower, for the record, wasn't even, it hadn't even started autoing that creep. So the tower hadn't even gone for the melee creep. Use of space. The tower hadn't even started autoing that creep. You could have faked forward and back and stepped all the way back to here. You could have done so many other things. But before the tower is even threatening to auto, you're already in range of Azir. And also, just future reference, if that creep is the only creep that you can get, maybe he knows that, right? So maybe if he postures like this, maybe you can't cue that creep, right? Everything is a thinking game at its core. Okay? Also, he's telling you, if you go for that creep, I'm going to chunk you. Leech the XP then. This is what you get for fucking up early. Take the early game more serious, right? So here, we queue a creep before the wave's even on our tower. Technically, you should be cheating more towards top side because Hecarim's towards top side in case you get dove. It's less likely that Lee's on this side. It's more likely that Lee's on the bottom side because Hecarim's not on the bottom side of his jungle. All this stuff can be considered. And then I think your W doesn't go through or whatever happens, right? But think about that. Right? We're only 8 minutes in. Right? And I've identified all these little mistakes from your gameplay as GP. You didn't push level 2. You started running around the map pre-6. Not respecting lane control. You're not like, I put use of space here, but essentially you're not thinking before you barrel. So I'll put think before damage wave. Right? Lunacy, you're the man. Thank you for the 14 months in a row. Appreciate it. Look at all these mistakes right out of lane phase. I mean, just stacking them up, right? So now you're super gimped. And by the way, in silver, this is what we would call like colossal fail. Part of the reason why I'm temporarily not doing the Riven 100 games to diamond until I figure my shit out, how I win lane, is because, and like I harp on my coaching, if I'm not crushing lane, then I'm trash, right? And I need to work on it more. And I've been saying on streams, like, yeah, I'm working on Riven off stream until my shit's on point, and then I'll resume the 100 games to diamond if I'm winning more lanes more often. Same thing with you. If your lane phase is looking like this, there's something terribly wrong with how we're approaching the game. Now, I'm not saying that you'll be allowed to just dumpster every lane you go into as GP, because you won't, really. Sometimes you're going to get camped or whatever. But you need to recognize when the lane's going badly. Just take the CS that you can get and don't mindlessly try to trade for no reason. Oh, that pre-6 Hecarim gank is sick. So we got our Sheen. 2 levels behind. Again, notice how you're just barreling the waves for no reason. Just look at that. You're just making it worse. Watch. You put the barrel down. What does Azir do? Starts jamming the wave, right? I don't know why you put this barrel down. You're not killing him. You don't have an ult. He has his ult. He has everything up. You're like very rarely killing him here because you're so far behind. I mean, sometimes you can gamble, hit a combo, and maybe go in. Okay? That actually just tilted me. Hold on. There. I hate when my Twitch chat gets rude like that. Sorry. But yeah, like, the guy is like pushing the lane to us. Okay? So we don't have to barrel the wave. Same thing as before. We could just let all the creeps hit the tower and then we can calmly farm each creep, as opposed to what you did, which you're trying to like counter shove or something. You can't. You're 2 levels behind. See that? How we can't get those first 2 creeps and that creep? It's because you've already damaged most of the creeps. You made the whole situation harder than it had to be. Here, Hecarim comes and bails us out. Thankfully, Azir plays like ass. And then you kind of play like ass too. What is this all about? Alright. Question. When you... Okay, watch how you run away. Use the creeps. Barrel... If he, I mean, honestly, he should be trying to walk at you. But this is why you have to try funky little plays. Here, when Lee shows up, play the minions first and see what he does. Generally, the best way to play this situation versus Lee Sin. Lee Sin comes up. You're going to walk behind minions, barrel right here. You're going to force him to walk up to you, and the only way he gets to kill you now is if he flash kicks you, or maybe hits a Q on you as you're running away. But if he walks up to you, you could exhaust him, and then get his kick. Like, or you could basically exhaust him when he goes to kick you, and maybe you survive sometimes. But notice how you don't play the minions. You just walk away. You have all these little barricades here, and you just walk away. You're giving him a free angle. Make him earn it. Make him ult you. Make him flash. You're probably fucked anyways, but the idea is you're going to get max out of him if he's going to be here. Also, you're moving him towards Hecarim. Maybe that discourages him from fighting. You never know. Or moving down river, you could get to Braum. Yes, all these things are important. Every play that you make. Every time you make a play, think, how can I die? How can I die? How can I die, right? So Hecarim's helping you. You should be having him shove, pinging him with you to help. Ping, 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 push with me, right? Because you don't want to be there. Also, notice how you're in the front of the minions. Positionally, it's lazy. There's no point of you being up front. You should be right here. Why does GP need to be on the minions like this? Why does he need to be up in their ass like this? You have Sheen. Watch the minions. The only minions you need to be autoing are the melee creeps, because Sheen and the barrel clears these, and Sheen and the barrel will basically get the melee creeps loaded up to auto. Do you see how many little things that I can harp on with GP in the lane phase? You see all this shit? This is why when I coach people in low elo, I always pretty much hone in on the fucking lane phase, dude. That's the lane phase. Because all these little mistakes are the difference between you, like, basically a silver or gold player, if you give them a lead, they can win. The point is that silver and gold players are free lanes. Like, I never lose lanes to, like, silver and gold players unless I'm playing Riven. Then I might lose. But that's my thing, is like, if I'm losing that many lanes, then I look internally and I start figuring out, okay, what the fuck am I doing wrong, right? In the case of Riven, it's more of a not knowing when to fucking all in. Not having a smooth all-in combo squared away, right? With GP, look at all these notes, right? Didn't push for level 2. Started roaming around pre-6. Not respecting lane control. You didn't use your space properly. Barreling the waves randomly for no reason. Now, here, standing up and meleeing creeps that you don't even have to melee. It's just lazy. Think about that. Autoing that barrel when you absolutely do not need to be autoing that barrel. You need to just calmly melee this creep, step back onto your minions, wait for this to tick down, wait for Sheen to pop, cue the barrel, and then last hit that melee minion. Should know all of this. Should know how GP's damage works in conjunction with Sheen. In this situation, should know that it's better to play minions as opposed to give the guy a free Q. If you step behind that range creep, there's absolutely no way he Qs you there. And this guy's so bad that he probably would have just Q'd the minion. Lee Sin's and low elo, they'll never just walk through and kick you like they're supposed to. Did I give a shout out to him? Spunky, thank you so much for the 9 in a row. Appreciate it. And now Hecarim dies, right? Hecarim noobs out because we noob out. Now Brahm's gonna do it. Everyone's just noobing out. Oh god, that is cringe. Leaving your tower with a minion wave crashing. It's like, I'm not trying to be a dick. It's awful right now. Your laning is awful. The good news is this should never happen again after this replay. And like I said, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm trying to make you realize that I don't know what's beyond this point, but I know that the first 10 minutes from the time that the minions connect to now, lane phase is horrific. Horrific bad. You are worried way too much about what this Lee is doing. You're worried, like, you're just trying to do way too much shit, dude. Like, way too much. Compartmentalize the game. Push for level 2. Is our opponent bad? Can we kill him? Yes. Then try to kill him. Push to level 2. Does our opponent push back at us and counter our push and is pushing off of it? Then just let the lane push to you and then calmly farm until we get some items. Right? Once we get Triforce, then loosen up. 14 minutes or so, we'll have Triforce. We can loosen up. In the meantime, we'll just chill, let the wave crash to tower, and just give up lane control for a bit because Azir outranges us. All this running around the map, hoping that we catch a Lee Sin and barreling the wave for no reason. We're not even thinking about what we're doing, and then just fucking sloppy. Like, to summarize, every champion has an identity, which I've talked about before, right? What is GP's identity? Sit in lane, ult with Thunderlords, try to get a kill or two, farm to Triforce, loosen up a little bit on pushing with Triforce. Level 13, now we can team fight. I see you level 8 and you're running around the map chasing a Lee Sin with a wave under your tower. And this is now like the second time I've seen you leave your tower chasing people through the jungle when you're behind. Like, you're just hoping to luck into kills. It's slot machine. GP is not a slot machine. The only slot machine element of GP is the ulting around the map to get a kill or two, which is kind of cool because sometimes you can just ult around the map with Thunderlords and pick up a kill, and then now you're snowballing and you didn't do anything to earn it. But this is horrible. You're just hoping that your champion sticks here. Okay, so take all these things that I've marked down into consideration, okay? You didn't push for level 2, you roamed often, you weren't respecting the lane when it's pushing to you, just let the wave crash and don't just give up HP for no reason. And then think before you touch the waves. Alright. YouTube, if you enjoyed this GP rundown, please like, subscribe, etc., etc. I love you guys very much, and I'm out. Peace. Cracks. Thanks.